Hi, Peter. This is Jim Gills with Win My Vote. And sorry, I'm reaching out this way. I've tried a couple of other ways and haven't been successful, so I figured I'd give this a shot. But watched a lot of your interviews and agree with a lot of your thoughts when it comes to politics and money and tech and philosophy. So I've built this platform, which I call a social voter information platform, where candidates and voters can communicate directly, sort of a level playing field of elections. And if you give me a second, I'll try to fly through this deck as fast as I can and give you an idea of what it is. Um, it really addresses, money in politics. So and we all know it's there. We've all seen memes about it, and we have, read books about it, and watched movies about it, and listened to TED Talks about it, and seen and even maybe participated in marches, about getting money out of elections. And year after year, election after election, nothing changes. As a matter of fact, it gets worse. They're expecting more money to be pouring into the 2020 election than any other election in history. Um, it does remind me, I wish I would have remembered the guy's name. It reminds me back in 2008 during the financial collapse. One of these guys said, blaming the 2008 financial collapse on greed is like blaming a plane crash on gravity. We know it's there. We need to engineer around it. And I always keep thinking about that when it comes to the market, right? About the building the better mousetrap is really sort of engineering around problems. So I kind of looked to the elections department and said, okay, that's kind of their job, is to put out this information. And why haven't they changed in 100 years? Why are they just printing this booklet and sending it out to voters, and the voters ignoring it to the point where this last election in 2018, Gavin Newsom, didn't even bother putting a profile in the voter guide, and it goes out to 18 million people. And he ended up winning by 23%, which really is a testament to the fact that the elections department is grossly underserving voters. This is another example. This is the Secretary of State that runs the elections department, openly endorsing candidates in an election. So, but again, we're sort of asleep at the wheel here. It's pretty evident that they want to keep things exactly the way they are, especially here in California. So I ended up, kind of thinking, hey, why doesn't someone build a real nonpartisan voter guide, a real level playing field? And the business model being just the candidates will pay to be on the site, and then the voters will have a practice ballot, and they'll be able to go through and hear all the candidates in all the races. And we'll finally have this level playing field that we used to always talk about. So this is what I came up with, and this is what it looks like. You sign up for free, you put your zip code in, you'll get your ballot. It'll be all the candidates and all the races up and down, as well as all the propositions and the measures. And it will look like this. You'll be able to click on the candidate. You'll be able to watch videos. You'll be able to see the party and click straight through to the party if you want to see their page. You'll be able to share the profile, ask the candidate a question directly, see the candidate's calendar. You can donate to the candidate's campaign if you want. You can do a quick bio, just get some of the basics, and then you can also go up here and just scroll through all of the candidates in this race if you want to do that. And then you can also drill down into each one of the profiles. And again, the candidates are building and managing their own profiles the same way they would their Facebook page and their Twitter account. The difference is it doesn't post and dissolve and post and go away and post and go away. This stays up here so that the voter at any time can say, I want to see where this candidate stands on certain issues. And they can scroll down and see the candidate's issues. They can go here and maybe do a quick one. They can also go over here and see candidate endorsements. And now these are the groups and organizations and individuals that are favoriting this candidate and endorsing this candidate. And up here, right, what you're looking at here is the candidate featuring these groups and organizations and individuals. So you as a voter say, that's great, but you know what? I only want to see my trusted sources. And we have a sort of a library of trusted sources where you'll go in and you'll actually select the groups and organizations and individuals that you want to see how they're voting. So you do that, and you can look at the group's voter guide, so to speak, right? You can click right through and see that. And if you want, you can favorite the candidate here, or you can favorite the whole thing, and you can vote like mega group. But you can also just click here and just see all the groups and individuals that you have selected as a trusted source. So let's say my friend Sarah here is really into politics. She does all this research on all the candidates. She does these great videos. Now I have her here and I can just watch the video and I can say that's great. And there's another group down here that I like, Unite America. I can, listen to what they have to say about the candidate. And I can also, see Mark Cuban's take on it. Now I'm convinced I really like this candidate and I can just favorite the candidate here. And if I want, I can share the profile. So this can go out to all my friends as, hey, I'm favoriting this candidate. I really like her, etc. When I go back to my ballot, you'll see here that it's nice and prominent that that's who I'm going to vote for. So I'm able to really manage my vote. I can scroll down to the propositions and I can do sort of the same thing here. I can read the actual language on the proposition. I can see the full text. And again, I can click here to see what my friend Sarah says about, this proposition. I can say great. I can look at, groups and organizations that are voting no. Maybe I want to have a balanced argument on each one of these propositions. So I do that, I do all my homework, and now I decide that I'm going to vote yes. And again, I can share that on social media as well. And when I go back to my ballot, it's nice and prominent here that it's yes. And then I can go through and I can do let's say all the other ones. I can even see how the proposition is doing on win my vote. So I have a real gauge on, let's say if I'm really into one of these propositions and I want to do some endorsing and some campaigning for them, I can really track how they're doing here. And same thing with the candidates. I can see how they're doing. It looks like there's 1288 that are undecided still. So this candidate sees this information. We voters see this information. Everyone does. So there's no media telling you who the front runner is or anything else. This is a real campaigning platform as well. So I decide to favorite this guy. And now I'm kind of building my ballot, and I can get an email saying that, hey, early voting has started or voting is next week or whatever. I can go right to find my polling place. And then I have all of my favorites here that I've selected to view favorites only. So I have everything that I need here to make a real well-informed vote. So our aim is to have a platform so that candidates feel like they can build a profile and then reach out to voters directly and say, give me 5 minutes. If you like me, favorite me. If you don't, you don't. And they'll get that feedback with their ongoing percentages here. And on the voter side, it's great because as a voter, this is what I want, right? I want all the candidates in all the races, all lined up, and I want it in real time so that if something happens, if a candidate updates their video or whatever it may be, it'll be, updated here and organized. So I may go in and change my mind. I may really like a candidate and then they may come out and say something and, etc. It's a real way of doing this. Anyway, would love to talk with you. There's lots of other features, but I don't have time to get to them. Thanks. Bye.